Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to be diving into my top 5 best teams for the Sinnoh Cup. Now, the Sinnoh Cup, as of recording this video, is set to drop this coming Monday, January 10th, at the normal time that leagues typically recycle, that being 1 p.m. PST and 4 p.m. Eastern Time if you're in the States, guys. So, the Sinnoh Cup is looking like it's going to be a little bit of fun. Just having a look at the meta and how it's going to shape out, guys. It's seeming like it's going to be one of those RPS-based metas. That stands for rock, paper, scissors, for those of you who don't know. But should still be fun, and some of the teams featured, actually, in this video, I think will solve that problem for you. But the Sinnoh Cup, the brief rundown here, we all probably know, but for those of you who don't, the Sinnoh Cup is a specialty cup that will be running alongside the Great League, guys, and it is in the Great League format, that being max CP of 1500. Pokemon must be at or below 1500 CP to enter, and only Pokemon with a Pokédex number from 187 to 493 will be allowed, i.e. any Pokemon first discovered in the Sinnoh region. So, as the name implies, right, guys? So, should be fun, guys. I'm personally excited to see another specialty cup similar to the Kanto Cup, that being the Sinnoh Cup. Should be a lot of fun, and we are actually going to dive into these teams, guys. Now, like I mentioned before, it just based on how the meta is shaping out, it is going to be a pretty heavy RPS, rock, paper, scissors type of meta, but guys, you're going to like these teams because the best way to overcome an RPS, rock, paper, scissors type of meta is to run ABB teams. So guys, all of the teams featured on this list will be very strong ABB teams to set you up for the most success in the Sinnoh Cup. And without further ado, guys, let's dive into team number 1. All right, guys, we got team number 1. Now, this team consists of Empoleon in the lead, Frostlass as your safe swap, and Drifblim in the back, guys. Now, I will preface this as we go along on PvPoke to have a closer look at this team, guys. Keep in mind that with all of these teams, they are ABB teams, and typically ABB teams don't get the best scorecards on PvPoke, so we are taking the scorecard with a grain of salt, guys, as PvPoke does tend to favor balanced teams. So with that said, let's have a look at the scorecard here. You get a solid A for coverage, you get a D for bulk, C for safety, and a B for consistency. So this being an ABB team, this is actually not too bad. You do get a D for bulk because Empoleon in the Great League format is not the bulkiest around, guys. It does lose quite a bit of bulk, quite a bit more than you might be used to if you run it in the Ultra League. And for safety, you're always going to get a C for safety with ABB teams. That is pretty typical, and it does get a B for consistency, guys. So this is actually a team that I ran in the Great League Remix Cup earlier this season, guys. And surprisingly, it actually does, well, not so surprisingly, really, honestly, guys, it actually does very well up against Bastiodon. And you can have a look here at a battle that I accidentally entered into the Open Great League when Great League Remix was around, and when I was running this team in the Great League. You can have a look if you're wondering how this team fares up against Bastiodon, one of the strongest Pokemon in this meta, and it's going to undoubtedly be one of the most heavily used Pokemon in this meta. So take a look to your right here and see how this team does up against Bastiodon while we go along on PvPoke with the matchups, guys. So this team is an ABB team. It's designed to pick up those Bastiodon leads, a Gastrodon lead, which is also going to be another very heavily used Pokemon in this meta. It's going to be very bulky, very strong, and a lot of people are going to be running Gastrodon because of all of the Bastiodons that are going to undoubtedly be running rampant in this Sinnoh Cup, guys. Empoleon actually does beat Bastiodon, and that's just because with the steel typing, guys, you're going to be resisting those smackdowns, that heavy fast move pressure from Bastiodon, and it does resist the big stab move of Stone Edge, while also only taking neutral damage from the flamethrowers, while just melting that Bastiodon away with a super effective waterfalls and hydro cannons, guys. Now, if you're met with a bad lead, like let's say a fighter, this is why we've got 2 ghost types in the back, guys. Frostlass is going to be the safe swap on this team. And having 2 ghost types behind the steel type Empoleon, you are going to do very well if a team happens to have a fighter on it. And as you see here, in the Bastiodon matchup, Empoleon does win that. You do lose to Lucario, but that's why we've got 2 ghost types in the back, which absolutely shut down the Lucarios that you will be running into as well in this meta, guys. Now, Empoleon actually has a very narrow loss to Gastrodon, and that's just because it's getting hit with super effective fast move pressure with those mud slaps. Gastrodon does also have access to a very hard-hitting Earth Power that does also have Stab due to its ground typing, but you've got 2 Pokemon in the back that can handle Gastrodon no problem. You do have a narrow loss up against Abomasnow, but that's very close, guys, and that is assuming even health, even shields, and that goes down to the 2 shield. But if you do have a shield advantage, you can edge that out because you can hit those Abomasnows with super effective Drill Pecks from your Empoleon. And Frostlass does have a narrow loss as well to Empoleon. But again, Abomasnow, excuse me. Abomasnow actually takes neutral damage from ice type attacks, guys, where it is part grass. So that Frostlass matchup is actually very much close. Of course, if you're met with a Toxicroak lead, again, you'll want to safe swap into Frostlass, handle those Toxicroaks, likely draw out a Bastiodon. And guys, if you're watching this battle here to the right, you'll see how close Frostlass can make it up against the Bastiodons, guys. Frostlass is such a beast. And so yeah, pretty solid team. This is my number 1 team, probably gonna be my go-to team for the Sinnoh Cup, guys, just because it's very strong up against the meta. Empoleon is going to be a fantastic lead just because it has an amazing typing, has that hard-hitting Community Day move of Hydro Cannon, which can hit most things for very, very hard neutral damage. And of course, you'll be able to hit those Bastiodons for heavy, super effective damage. And you've got 2 OP ghost types in the back, guys, that being Frostlass and Drifblim. Drifblim you'll want to save to close the game out strong, preferably with a shield advantage. And you'll be in good shape with this team, guys. So, very solid team. Looking like my favorite team thus far for the Sinnoh Cup. And should be very strong, and you should definitely rack up the wins with this team, guys. Without further ado, that's the Empoleon Frostlass Drifblim team. Let's have a look at team number 2. All right, guys, we got team number 2, and team number 2 features Gastrodon in the lead, running Mud Slap, Body Slam, Earth Power, Drapion as your safe swap, and Frostlass in the back to close the game strong, guys. Now, the idea behind this team is to, of course, pick up those Bastiodon leads. You'll pick up those Empoleon leads as well. Gastrodon is a beast, guys, and it is going to be very much used quite a bit in this Sinnoh Cup meta, and that is just because it's good. And it counters the strongest Pokemon in this meta, that being Bastiodon. You just really, really want to watch out for those grass types, as with typical groundwater types, guys, they faint just by seeing a blade of grass. You got to keep Gastrodon far away from those grass types, and that is why we've got Drapion and Frostlass in the back. Gastrodon does not do very well up against flyers. Again, most common flyer that you will see is Drifblim, and both the Pokemon in the back handle Drifblim pretty well. So let's have a look at this scorecard, guys. Decent scorecard, considering that it is an ABB team, guys. You get a solid A for coverage. a C for bulk, and a C for safety, and a B for consistency. That is a fantastic scorecard for an ABB team, guys. And you get a C for bulk just because Frostlass is not the bulkiest Pokemon around. So that brings the score down a little bit. And as with any ABB team, you will get a C for safety. That is just how it is. No big deal. Take that with a grain of salt. Let's have a look at these matchups, guys. Gastrodon in the lead is going to be dominating the steel types, of course, that being predominantly Lucario. Does have a steel fighting typing. Of course, Bastiodon, you just shut out those Bastiodons. It is not even close, guys, as Gastrodon with that ground typing is resisting the fast move pressure of Bastiodon. You resist that hard-hitting stab move of Stone Edge, and you resist the coverage move in Flamethrower, guys. Gastrodon hard walls Bastiodon, which is why it is going to be quite valuable in the Sinnoh Cup, guys. So if you pick up those steel-type leads, you are already off to a good start. But if you're met with a bad lead, like let's say Abomasnow, which completely shuts out Gastrodon, you want to safe swap into Drapion, one of the best safe swaps in the entire game, guys. You will likely get met with an opposing Gastrodon if you do safe swap into Drapion, but that's okay, guys, because on Drapion, you will be wanting to run Aqua Tail and Crunch. Crunch hits for neutral damage, and it has stab, and you get a chance to debuff that defense, of course, setting up your next Pokemon that's going to be coming in, because Drapion does have a hard loss to Gastrodon. So yeah, if you're met with a grass type, that's basically the only lead that you'll really want to be concerned about. Grass types and flying types, more so grass types, because Gastrodon will get one shot from a grass type move. That's just how it is when you run a ground water type. So yeah, we've got two Pokemon to handle the grass types and the flyers. Of course, Frostlass handles flyers and grass types extremely well, which is why it provides an excellent cover to Gastrodon's weakness of grass. The only real weakness is grass, and Frostlass covers that beautifully. And as you see here, you got a very close win over Toxicroak. Of course, Toxicroak with that poison typing is going to be taking super effective damage from that heavy fast move pressure of Mud Slap. And you do have narrow loss against Cresselia, which is also going to be a pretty heavily used Pokemon in this meta, although not quite as heavily used as Bastiodon and Gastrodon, as a lot of people don't have access to a Frostlass that comes under the CP limit of 1500. Those of you who are lucky, who have a good Cresselia from the research task a while back, you guys are the lucky ones. You'll be able to run Cresselia, but again, for that reason, you're not going to see too many Cresselias. But if you do, guys, you got two Pokemon in the back that can handle Cresselia extremely well. Same goes for Drifblim as well. As I mentioned before, it's going to be the most commonly used flyer in this meta. You want to safe swap into Drapion, and you've got another answer to it in the back as well with Frostlass. Stay in on those Empoleon matchups as well, guys, in the lead. You do win that. You could maybe even get it, maybe to 50% health, that being Empoleon with your Gastrodon, and then look to make a play into Drapion and get it within crunch range, and hopefully flip switch if they decide to stay in on you. It's likely that they would stay in on your Drapion safe swap, as Empoleon does have a good matchup up against it. So that's a good strategy there for those Empoleon leads, guys. And Gastrodon just melts away those occasional Magnezones that you will see in this meta, guys, as Magnezone is extremely glassy. It's going to be on the meme side, more of a spice pick, I think, just because it is glassy. So yeah, that's this team, guys. Another very solid team with Gastrodon. Decent threat score, guys. It's slightly above 500. Anything below 500 is absolutely excellent. As you can see, this team is a little bit above 500, which makes it a decent team, especially considering that it is an ABB team, guys. So that is team number 2. Gastrodon lead, Drapion safe swap, and Frostlass in the back, guys. Strong team should help you rack up the wins in the Sinnoh Cup. With all that said, let's have a look at team number 3, guys. All right, guys, we got team number 3. Here we go, guys. What Sinnoh Cup list would be complete without having a Bastiodon on it, right, guys? That's just because Bastiodon is so strong, so overpowered, has such a high stat product for a Great League format. It is almost like cheating, but hey, it's in the game, it's available, and it qualifies, so it's gonna be used, guys. So we've got a Bastiodon team here. Of course, Bastiodon in the lead. Roserade as your safe swap, running Grass Knot, not the recommended Leaf Storm, and I'll touch on why, guys. And Drifblim in the back, guys. So the idea behind this ABB team is Bastiodon's gonna be double weak to fighting type damage. So we've got a poison type and a ghost flying type in the back to really cover that fighting type weakness. You're also going to be weak to ground type damage, guys. Double weak to ground type damage. Again, we've got a grass type and a flying type in the back to handle those ground types, i.e. Gastrodon. So let's have a look at the scorecard, guys, and we'll dive into movesets and matchups after we have a look. Oh my goodness, what a scorecard, guys! Especially considering it is an ABB team, guys. This is an amazing scorecard. You get a solid A for coverage, A for bulk. You're going to get that D for safety, and it being an ABB team, of course, and a B for consistency, guys. That is a home run in terms of ABB teams when you have a look at this scorecard, guys. Amazing scorecard. Now, moveset on Roserade, guys. Or Roserade in general. Let's touch on Roserade a little bit, guys. So, I seriously considered Cresselia as the safe swap option, and if you do have a Cresselia, by all means, you're going to be adding a ton of bulk to this team if you do run Cresselia as opposed to Roserade. But again, not everybody has a Cresselia for the Great League, so Roserade, having that community day recently, is an excellent option. And I actually kind of prefer Roserade a little more, guys, and here's why. You've got access to Weather Ball Fire. So, those steel types, Cresselia does not like steel types. If they swap in a steel type on you, you've got coverage for it, guys. That's why I like Roserade. And Grass Knot gives you a little bit more flexibility. You're not double debuffing your attack stat, guys. You're able to hang in there a little longer. You've got a lot more flexibility running the hard-hitting Grass Knot, guys. And you will be deleting those Gastrodons if you're able to line up a Roserade in the right scenario and hit them with a hard-hitting Grass Knot. Forget about it. Lights out, guys. So, the matchups here, Lucario, any fighter, you're getting out of there. You're getting the heck out of there in the Roserade and play from there. And then you've got Drifblim, preferably with a shield advantage to close the game out. So Lucario, Bastiodon has a hard loss up against any fighter, really. Lucario or Toxicroak, those are going to be the top fighters in this meta, guys. And you want to get the heck out of there, of course. In the Roserade, the Bastiodon Mirror, it's close. As with any ABB team, any neutral or losing matchup, you will want to safe swap out of that at some point. I would recommend playing it out a little bit, as Bastiodon is the best answer for an opposing Bastiodon. As you can see here in the matchups, guys, it is a toss-up. So I would get it down to about 50% health, and then look to, don't shield anything, of course, and then look to make a play into Roserade. And they may actually stay in. You never know, guys. Play from there. Gastrodon, get the heck out of there in your Roserade and play it out from there, of course. This team does okay up against Abomasnow. It actually says, you've got narrow wins over Abomasnow with Roserade and Bastiodon, of course, dominates Abomasnow. You just want to keep those Abomasnows far and away from your Drifblim, as that is a nightmare matchup. Those Frostlass leads, you're going to be dominating. Frostlass does, again, another case why I like Roserade a little bit better is because it's going to have much more play up against those Frostlasses, those Abomasnows with that Weather Ball Community Day move, guys. You're able to hit them for super effective damage. Munchlax. So that's going to be interesting. It's sort of a niche pick, as not everyone has access to a Munchlax, but you may run into it. Just beware of Munchlax because it does run Bulldoze, so that could catch you off guard if you're unfamiliar with the moveset on Munchlax. It, of course, runs Body Slam as well, but it's going to have Bulldoze as its coverage move. You will want to be aware of that if you stay in on Munchlax with your Bastiodon. Just keep that in mind. It does run Bulldoze. Drifblim, of course, you're going to dominate. Bastion does beat Cresselia as well. It is very close, as Cresselia is extremely bulky, but Bastiodon just has a lot of fun. Cresselia does hit Bastiodon again for some decent neutral damage with those grass knots. Empoleon, you'll want to get the heck out of there again into your Roserade. Roserade has a good win over Empoleon, and so does Drifblim. Drifblim is a little closer, guys. You'll want to maybe align that once you have a shield advantage with Drifblim. Yeah, super solid team, guys. Bastion beats the Wormadam Trash. You may run into it. A lot of people may have one built from the Halloween Cup that we had earlier in previous seasons, so beware of that. Bastiodon does do well up against Wormadam Trash. Roserade does beat it as well. It says it has narrow loss, but that is just because most Wormadam Trashes are going to be running Confusion, but you can outpace to those Weather Balls, and depending on shielding scenarios, you could get off a Weather Ball or two and really show that Wormadam Trash who's boss, guys. So, yeah, super solid team for team number 3. Going to be a fun team to run. Has an okay threat score, 599. You are getting a little bit away from that watermark of 500. And again, anything with a threat score lower than 500 is super solid and fantastic. It is slightly high, but that's not a bad threat score. A bad threat score is something like in the mid to high 600s. If you creep into the 700s with a threat score, that is terrible, and you will want to abort. But this is not. This is an okay threat score, 599. Not bad. Super solid team for team number 3. Here is your Bastiodon team again. If you want to run Cresselia in the place of Roserade, by all means go for it if you do have one. I actually prefer Roserade over Cresselia for the reasons I detailed earlier. Super solid team for team number 3. Guys, with all that said, let's have a look at team number 4. All right, guys, we got team number 4. Team number 4 runs Drifblim as your lead, Empoleon as your safe swap, and Bastiodon in the back. Yes, another team with Bastiodon, guys. You got to get used to it. It's a good Pokemon, and it's going to be on a lot of teams. This is the only other team on this list with Bastiodon, just in case you're wondering, guys. Bastiodon is just amazing, guys. It's going to be strong. It's going to be on a lot of teams, guys, including this ABB team here, guys. So, Drifblim as your lead. Its primary weakness in this Sinnoh Cup is going to be Ice-type damage, guys. It's also not going to like those Bastiodon leads as well. So if you're met with a bad lead, safe swap into Empoleon. Empoleon is going to be a good safe swap on this team. You will likely be met with a Fighter or a Gastrodon. And the beauty of Empoleon being the safe swap is you can absolutely fight back against those fighting types with super effective Drill Pecks. And those Hydro Cannons do hit a little bit different coming from Empoleon, guys. Those Gastrodons are not going to like those Hydro Cannons. They hit hard. They hit for hard neutral damage. And you got Bastiodon to close the game strong for you guys. Bastiodon being so bulky, it's going to perform extremely well when shields are down to really close out the end game, guys. So, super solid ABB team. Let's have a look at this scorecard, guys. Oh, what a good scorecard. This is another home run scorecard for an ABB team, guys. Here we go. We get an A for coverage. We get an A for bulk. We get that C for safety. You're going to get that with an ABB team. That's as good as you get for a safety score. And you get a B for consistency, guys. This is an amazing team. Team number 4. Now, the matchups. Drifblim in the leads. Gonna do very well up against those fighting type leads, which you will be running into. You will dominate those fighters, i.e. Lucario. Drifblim has a very strong win up against Lucario. You just really have to watch out for those super effective Shadow Balls, of course. It's going to be a bait game if they decide to stay in on you, but they likely won't. So Drifblim dominates the fighters. Of course, Drifblim does not like Bastiodon one bit, guys. This is why we've got Empoleon on this team, and we've got Bastiodon if it comes down to it, guys. So yeah, you want to safe swap into Empoleon if you're met with a Bastiodon. Actually, you might want to go into the mirror. You never want to go into your best answer for safe switching. That's where you got to use some discretion with these ABB teams, guys. One thing of note with any ABB team, if you have a dedicated safe swap and that happens to be your best answer, go with the second option, guys. That's the rule of thumb with ABB teams. So Gastrodon, Drifblim shuts out Gastrodon, guys, because it is resisting those mud slaps, double resisting with the flying typing. You're going to double resist the fast activating charge move of Body Slam, and of course you're going to be double resisting its hard hitting stab move of Earth Power. Drifblim, hard walls, Gastrodon, guys. So with all the Gastrodon leads that you are bound to run into in the Sinnoh Cup, you can rest assured that you're going to have success with this team, guys, with Drifblim in the lead. Drifblim, again, does not like the ice types, that being Abomasnow and Frostlass, although it does make it close because you're able to hit Frostlass with super effective Shadow Balls, and you're able to really hit Abomasnow with neutral icy winds. That do start to add up. But again, with an ABB team, get out of there, get into Empoleon on the ice types. Again, Toxicroak dominate. Munchlax has a very narrow win over Drifblim, which is kind of crazy because Drifblim double resists both of its charge attacks. That might be a little sketchy, guys. Honestly, I think Drifblim can really edge that out up against Munchlax. You can stay in there, at least for a little bit, and get off a few icy wins, then make a play into your Empoleon for those Munchlaxes, the occasional Munchlax that you may run into. It's a toss-up with opposing Drifblims. Maybe bait a Shadow Ball and then get out of there into your Empoleon. That's what I would do up against an opposing Drifblim. You'd beat Cresselia pretty good, guys. Cresselia's only chance up against Drifblim is the Moonblast, which, if you're good on your counts, you'll know when it's coming. They wouldn't throw a Grass Knot that is double resisted, or just resisted in general. So yeah, solid team, guys, for team number 4. A very fun team. You actually shut out Bronzong if you happen to run into it. All 3 of these Pokemon beat Bronzong pretty easily. Wormadam Trash, again, all 3 Pokemon have solid wins up against Wormadam. Wormadam has nowhere to go with this team. Magnezone is going to be a team effort. Again, I think Magnezone's not going to see as much play. It's going to be more of a meme, more of a spice pick. That's just because it's going to be very classy. It's not going to do well in this meta. You may run into it, and if you do, it's going to take a team effort. Just keep that in mind, guys. No team is impervious. Every team it's going to have a weakness, so keep that in mind if you happen to run into it. Magnezone, decent threat score for this team of 569, coming in slightly above the watermark of 500. Again, anything below 500 is amazing. If you're slightly above 500, that is an okay team. That's an okay threat score. Not bad at all, really. Guys, for team number 4, super solid ABB team. Drifblim lead, Empoleon safe swap, Bastiodon in the back to close it out, guys. So, with all that said, that is team number 4. Let's have a look at team number 5. All right, guys, and last but certainly not least, we got team number 5. And team number 5 runs Frostlass in the lead. Gastrodon's going to be your safe swap on this team, and Toxicroak in the back to close the game strong, guys. With this ABB team, you are going to be met with, of course, bad leads like Bastiodon, but this is meant to pick up those teams that are built to counter Bastiodon, guys. That being the Gastrodon leads, Frostlass has a decent win up against Gastrodon. Those fighting type leads, Frostlass being a ghost type, will be resisting the fighting type damage while being able to hit for some heavy damage with Avalanche. Solid ABB team here. Let's have a look at the scorecard. Okay scorecard, guys. I know those D's are jumping out at you, but hey, with any ABB team, again, take the scorecard with a grain of salt. It's going to be an unbalanced team. PV Poke does tend to favor balanced teams. So we got an A for cover, D for bulk, and that's just because Frostlass and Toxicroak are not the bulkiest Pokemon around. Your only bulk on this team really is with Gastrodon. And if you have a decent PvP IV Frostlass is not completely made of paper. It can take some damage. Safety, you got a D. Of course, you're going to get that with an ABB team. And you get a solid B for consistency. So, decent ABB team here, guys. Let's have a look at these matchups. Okay. All three of these Pokemon absolutely shut out Lucario. Guys, Lucario, you're going to be seeing a lot of Lucario very early on in this meta. So keep that in mind with this team, guys. All three of these Pokemon absolutely shut out Lucario. I think Lucario will start to fall off as people start to realize it's a little bit overrated. And that is just because it is very glassy. A lot of people are going to be running Toxicroaks, which do have a super solid win over Lucario. Early on, you're going to have a lot of success. And beyond early on, guys, this team is going to withstand the test of time. It's a super solid team. Of course, if you see a Bastiodon, you run for the hills into Gastrodon. Gastrodon's going to be a safe swap on this team, guys. You don't want to shield your Gastrodon because you're going to draw out a grass type. And you just do as much damage as you can with Gastrodon and then come in and farm down the Funky Town with Frostlass, guys. That's the play. You want to save your shields for Frostlass and Toxicroak. Toxicroak's going to be the closer on this team. It functions best with a shield advantage. So you get that with Frostlass with those fast activating charge moves of Avalanche and Shadow Ball. Look to break their shields with Frostlass. Preserve a shield advantage for Toxicroak. Close the game. That's how you play this team. So you have two amazing answers to Bastiodon, guys. Bastiodon doesn't have a whole lot of places to go with this team. Again, with Gastrodon, Frostlass, you'll want to stay in there a little bit. Maybe try and threaten with a Avalanche. You'll either do a lot of neutral damage or grab a shield. Not likely that you'll grab a shield, but with that damage, you'll have a health advantage to come in with Gastrodon in the mirror matchup. You don't want to come in on Gastrodon Toxicroak. Toxicroak does lose to it, so keep it away from your Toxicroak. Abomasnow, you got a very narrow win over Abomasnow. Again, that's just because you're resisting the ice-type damage from Abomasnow while doing heavy neutral damage, as Abomasnow does have a grass typing, making ice-type damage neutral. So you do win, and you've got a solid answer with Toxicroak in the back, again, with Abomasnow. Frostlass, it's a toss-up, maybe threatened with a Shadow Ball. Look to get out of there eventually into Gastrodon. It's not the best matchup with Gastrodon, but you can apply some heavy neutral fast move pressure with those Mud Slaps that do have stab. Toxicroak, forget about it. This team shuts out Toxicroak, which you might see quite a bit of in this meta, guys. Keep that in mind. Munchlax, very close. Maybe get off an Avalanche, make a play in Gastrodon. Drifblim, you're going to stay in there on Drifblim. You win that pretty solidly. Just going to be a bait game going up against those Drifblim players. They're always going to be baiting, guys. They have to. It is a very bait-dependent matchup for Drifblim. All the while, you can spam off those super effective Avalanches. You get a solid win over Cresselia as well. You got to beat it with your Frostlass, guys. If something goes wrong, know that it should be low enough health to where Toxicroak can come in and finish it off. Empoleon, again, maybe threatened with a Shadow Ball. You do lose that because it is double resisting your Ice-type damage, which is the primary damage output from a Frostlass, guys, with Empoleon. Maybe try and get off one Shadow Ball and then get out of there into your Gastrodon. Same goes for Lickitung as well. All three of these Pokemon do beat Drapion, which is going to be the most prevalent safe swap in this meta, guys. So you can rest assured Drapion doesn't have anywhere to go with this team. Super solid team for team number 5, guys. All three Pokemon beat Skuntank as well, the other Poison Dark type in this meta. So you're going to be doing very well up against those Poison Dark types. Pretty high threat score, guys, coming in just a hair under 600. But again, you're going to get that with any ABB team. You're going to have a somewhat high threat score. But take that with a grain of salt, as it is an ABB team. Guys, so this is team number 5. Super solid team for the Sinnoh Cup. Frostlass lead, Gastrodon as your safe swap, and Toxicroak with a shield advantage to close the game for you guys. So that is team number 5. And that about wraps it up, guys. This is going to be a fun cup, guys. I personally am super excited for the Sinnoh Cup. We've got 5 solid ABB teams that you can really have success with in this Sinnoh Cup. I am super excited for it, guys. I gotta be honest, got a little bit of Master League fatigue. I'm sure many of you all have the same, so it'll be refreshing to have the Great League back and the Sinnoh Cup as well. It's gonna be fun this coming Monday at 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. Eastern if you're in the States, guys. Gonna be fun. You got 5 very solid ABB teams that will really set you up for success. And the reason why they're all ABB teams is because, again, as I touched at the beginning of this video, it happens to be shaping out to be a very RPS, rock, paper, scissors based meta. It does happen, but the best answer for a rock, paper, scissors meta is to run ABB teams. And we've got 5 super solid, strong ABB teams to set you up for success in the Sinnoh Cup, guys. I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. For those of you that have already subscribed to the channel, it means the world. I thank you so very much. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed, give a subscribe up here, guys. Show the channel some love. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.